Really want to welcome our special guest today, but this is my family. But I'm so excited for our guest. I can't wait. Ms. Tia, fellow community health worker. She's an amazing personality at PRN. Ms. Tia, she's frozen.
Uh-oh.
She'll come back. We'll give her a second.
Okay. It happens. We always have something like that happens. It wouldn't be a Thursday if we didn't have something going on. But welcome, everybody. So glad to be here with you guys. As always on Thursday, I'm excited to have Tia here to share some of her story. She's got an amazing story of hope and resilience, and she's just an amazing woman. So I'm glad that she's here to share with us.
And I hope the internet kicks back in.
Yeah.
It does, because I really want to hear from her.
Am I frozen?
Yes, ma'am. You are, but we hear you.
Oh, this ain't gonna work.
We're just like, what are we gonna? That's technology for you. It never works when you need it.
Right.
Yeah, never does.
Bad.
But while the internet collects itself, who's excited for Halloween?
Oof.
I know, one of my favorite holidays.
Oh yeah, that and Thanksgiving. But now that I'm older, it's the food. It's the food.
Yep.
This is the funnest time of the year.
My long-awaited nap right after.
Yes.
Yeah.
For sure. For sure. Tia, are you with us? Can you hear us?
If you want to log out and go by a cell phone, that works too. We'll wait for you, we promise. Oh. That's how it is in show business.
Well, remember, get your turkeys now before they're gone.
Yeah, I heard there's gonna be it's gonna be super expensive this holiday too for like meats and stuff. So
yeah, I heard the prices are skyrocketing for everything. It's ridiculous. I heard a little something.
I think she said something about switching.
Well, we can keep things going till then.
Okay.
So I'm sure she'll be back. So right. What's everyone's children dressing up for Halloween? I'm curious.
So both of my kids are going to be Minecraft characters. One of them, I have his little mask thing right here. He's going to be a creeper.
Oh, that's the coolest.
And the other one is going to be, Michael's going to be a Ender Dragon, which is some other like character from Minecraft. Both of my kids are like Minecraft fanatics. So we're doing a Minecraft themed Halloween this year. So what about you guys?
Well, my youngest is totally obsessed with Fortnite.
Nice.
So he's going to be a Fortnite character.
He's going to be the gingerbread man.
Nice. Awesome.
And then for our son, we decided, hey, why not dress him up as a Chucky doll?
Nice. Oh, I can't wait to see those pictures. Cool.
But Izzy's is a secret, so
we'll
reveal those when we totally get it together.
Is it going to be that good, Izzy, that we can't know yet?
Oh, it's going to be good.
Oh, it's good.
It's going to be somewhat traditional, but not traditional. We started early.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we didn't even get the show started yet. All right,
so
Miss Tia's with us.
Coming? There we go.
Yay, Miss Tia's with us.
Oh.
Hey.
Hey, Miss Tia.
Hey, Tia.
Oh, no.
No.
And this is going to be one of my favorite episodes just because of Tia's personality. I absolutely
and the fact that we got technical issues.
It wouldn't be my family if we didn't mess up something.
No, we're not perfect. Far from it.
Yeah, I don't know if you can hear us, but try to disconnect from the PRN's Wi-Fi because it's always sketchy on phones.
I think she might be using her laptop.
Oh, okay.
I hope she joins us.
Maybe switch over to her phone.
It's okay. We'll figure this out. Breathe, guys. Okay. We got this. It'll come together. So, Miss Erin, how was your weekend?
It was really good. My kids had their first Cub Scout outing on Saturday where they get one of their badges. They had to do like a archery and BB guns, and they made rockets, and that was really cool. So yeah, so we did that all day Saturday, and then really just hung out Sunday. My kids went to church with their dad, and I got to do some like grocery shopping and cleaning up and just some self-care. So that was good. What about you guys?
Oh, we had gone to the mountains last week on a whim, and it was torrential rain the whole entire time, but the place is so serene and so beautiful and so relaxing and calm. That torrential rain didn't even phase us at all.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah, nah. That was honestly, that was one of my favorite parts. It gives you that time where you could get that downtime. I love sleeping during when it's raining.
Mm-hmm.
I slept in just a little bit. I won't lie.
I mean, that's one thing I don't think me and Izzy can stress enough, like the importance of like self-care, like when you're in your wellness, because it can literally flip your mood switch instantaneously.
For sure. Oh. Yeah. And I got into a little bit of a, I'm sorry, Karen.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I was going to say, I just got into like a little bit of a funk last week. Over the past couple weeks, I've just had a lot of, I don't know, I just was struggling. And yeah, like you said, the self-care, just like a day of just doing absolutely nothing and just trying to do some of the things that you neglect during the week when you've got work and everything else going on. So yeah, self-care is huge. It's so important.
Yeah, and especially in the line of work we're in, when we're working with someone and, they're struggling, it wears heavy on us because, we wish we had that magic fix for everything.
I know. I do too.
It does make me struggle. Yay, Miss Tia's back.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm back.
Third time's the charm.
We can hear you now.
Oh no. We're going to get this right eventually, I promise.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh no.
All right, guys. What's going on?
We were just at PRN yesterday. The internet wasn't acting up. It's all right. We'll get it right before the end of this, I promise.
Okay. We got it.
I promise it's gonna be worth it. That's gonna be a for sure. This is gonna be worth it.
Tia's story is so compelling and so real and so raw. It's amazing.
Yeah, moving.
More time.
There she is.
There you go.
So fourth time was a charm today.
Okay.
I really, really wanted to enter from my computer, but it's okay.
Oh,
okay.
Really,
it wouldn't be my family if we didn't have like a bump in the road or something. That's just our natural born natures, and we just roll with it.
Yes, we'll just roll with it.
But I want to welcome you, Miss Tia. It is so good to see you and have you on a family perspective to kind of give your story and, telling us about yourself and, your trials and tribulations through life. Awesome. And I think she froze again. Oh, no, she didn't. Okay, we're good.
I'm on my phone, so we're not going to have that problem.
So, Ms. Tia, please tell us all about yourself. You're such a bubbly character, and we're so happy to have you at PRN.
Well, definitely. I'm definitely glad to be here. You said tell you all about myself. I think you're going to break that down a little bit more. There's so many levels, so many components to me and everything that I do and everything that I bring. I definitely just want you to just tell me all about myself. What do you want to know? I mean, there's so much to know. What would you like? So,
Personal. Tell us a little bit about yourself and, things you like, hobbies, interests, so on and so forth.
okay, thank you. So, I love all of y'all. I love you and your husband, Izzy, Karen, Erin, my best girl. I really am excited to be working alongside y'all and to be able to do this work in the community. I am just a Southern girl born right here in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm a family girl. I'm always sharing my family. I'm always sharing about my mom, my grandmother, who will be listen, get it right, who will be 90
Oh,
next Friday.
wow.
She's 89 now and will be 90 next Friday. She's a three-time breast cancer survivor. With
Wow.
recently just her last surgery last week. So I'm all about family. This same grandmother that prayed through me through incarceration after incarceration, after, just everything that I've been through. So my family, I'm very, very big on family. I love people. I think that everybody deserves a second chance. And people always saying, "Oh, Tia is always like this. She's empowering everybody." I am. I'm like this all the time. I was born into it. I was born into a family of long line black women that always encouraged to support and love and to forgive. And so when you see me, that's what you see. And so when I have a lot of patience and when I'm loving on people, when I'm smiling, I'm giving compliments, it's authentic. A lot of people don't know how to receive that because they come from so much trauma. They're not used to that, but they're not going to change who I am. I'm still just going to bring the sunshine in whatever room I step into. So that's who I am. I'm all about family. My daughters are my life. One, my youngest daughter I had, while I was incarcerated and in federal prison. And then my oldest daughter lives in Atlanta, going to school, pursuing her career, her life, and she's on the path to being in medicine. She wants to be a doctor. So I'm very full of family. That's what it's all about.
That's awesome. So, would you be willing to go a little bit in depth to your backstory? What made you get into this line of peer support?
Absolutely. I'll be more than happy to go into the story. As I stated to you in the beginning, when we came on, I just love to be able to help and to be able to share. And I think that when you're dealing with your peers, people that are equivalent to you, no matter how they look, what their height is, what their width is, what their length is, or how long their hair is, I just think that when you can relate to someone and you can truly and genuinely, let's just say this. I'm from the hood, okay? I was born in poverty. I was born um, into a family that always worked, but we didn't have a whole lot of money. My mom always worked and she always made it happen. So I just think that for me to overcome all of the obstacles and all of the challenges that I had to face in life, with being someone that comes home from incarceration and experience recidivism and domestic violence, I think that getting into peer support, when you're looking a peer in the eye and you can say, "I am you," the
Mm-hmm.
person that you see in the mirror. I'm that same image. I've been through that. And sometimes you go back to being that person. You relive some of that trauma when you're doing this work. And that's why it's important for us to take self care. But I think that the most promising and compelling thing is when you can restore hope inside of someone with an authentic story. No one wants to
Mm-hmm.
hear about your credentials. No one wants to hear about you got A, B, C,
Right.
D behind your name. A person that is homeless on the street, a person that's trying to get out of domestic violence, a person that's restoring themselves back into the community after incarceration don't want to hear about all that. They want to know that someone loved them, support them, and can lead them to a path of redemption. And that's who I am. Hands down, that's who I am.
Yeah.
I mean, I appreciate you for being vulnerable and sharing your story with us. I mean, what kind of adversity did you go through, growing up?
So the adversity growing up is not being able to have access to all the resources that families would have that was born with money. There's the challenge of not being financial stable. There's the challenge of, seeing domestic violence as a child. There's a challenge of being in an abusive relationship, and the challenge of just not being able to get all the things that you need. Seeing your mom go to work, work two jobs, and work her fingers down to the bone to make ends meet. Well, she did it. She did it hands down. My mom is my hero. But could things have been better? Absolutely. Did we make things happen? Yes, we made things happen. But a lot of times we want, a lot of times when people are born into privilege, I wasn't born into privilege. I don't want anybody to think that at all. What you see, yeah, you see a child that come from a family of love. And I tell people anytime, when you have love, you can overcome anything. I had love, but we didn't have money. That's the real truth. So coming from a family that love you and support you and uplift you, and my mom was able to provide resources with the resources that she had. And I think a lot of people, they look at me and they say, oh, well, you had a mom that worked. I did, but I didn't come from a two-parent home. And the parent that was in my home to make it a two-parent home was abusive. So my mom kicked them out. We was able to get them out of there. But a lot of times when you start thinking about your history and the chain reaction, every black woman that I grew up around was single. They didn't have anybody to help support their children that they had. So we didn't have fathers around. My grandfather was all of our fathers. And my grandfather didn't think nobody was good enough to be around his grandchildren or his daughters. And that's another subject for another day. But, I didn't come from a family two-parent home. I came from a mom that worked her ass off. And she wanted to make sure that I had the best of everything with the little that she had.
And I mean, that resiliency like shines through you. I mean, I can't even list all the things you advocate for and, all the things you have your hands in because you are a woman of many trades and many talents.
Yeah, and that piece, I'm with you on that because I grew up in a house. My adolescence was all mainly my mom, and my mom did, I mean, the best that she could with her resources too. I didn't come from a family of money or anything like that. It was kind of tough, but she did. I'm who I am today because of her, to be honest with you. Because by the time my dad came out of jail, I was a teenager, so I left and tried to be an adult myself. So it was tough. It's definitely something tough, but with love, like you said, conquers a lot. Conquers.
Yeah, absolutely. It goes back a long, long, long way. I can just tell you, I can piggyback on what you just said. Is it like, I didn't even know some of the struggles. We talk about some of the things. My mom started working. I think my mom told me she started working when she was 15. She's retired now. My mom just had her 67th birthday. She don't look like it. She's a beautiful woman inside and out, and she's been that way all the years I can remember. I can't think of a time that my mom abused me or did anything to me wrong. And I know we all have our different challenges, we all have our different struggles, we all have our different obstacles and barriers that we have to overcome. But my mother isn't one of those. So I can't say that. I can't relate to not having, a mother around that loved me. And my mom loved me through all of my incarcerations, all of my arrests, being arrested, starting getting arrested at the age 15 as a juvenile, and just time after time and time after again until I landed myself in federal prison. I think at the age 20, I was pregnant, caught my federal case, and went to prison. So my mom has been there. So I had a rough path as a juvenile by the choices that I chose, by the decisions that I made. I always tell people I don't have an innocent story. I don't want anybody to feel sorry for me. Don't feel sorry for me. I use my story as a life testimony. Yes, there's some things in our criminal legal system. I don't say justice, criminal legal system that we need to fix. It's unjust. It's broken. There are barriers. There are obstacles. I think we need to tear it down and rebuild it again. But I don't have an innocent story. But I think God used, or whatever your spiritual gain is. Mine is family of faith, that Christianity, Baptist from, like I said, strong black women. I think that whatever your strength is, whatever that foundation is that you hold on to and you grow from, mine is simply from coming from all these beautiful women and going to church and praying and believing in a strong faith in a high power, which was God for us. And just to be able to say that, I had my family through all of this, that is why I still stand. It's so, I can't begin to tell you how many times, I can go down the list of I wanted to commit suicide. I wrote a letter. My aunt told me that was the dumbest thing I ever did. We still have that letter today that I wrote to my aunt and told her I was going to kill myself. Didn't know how I was going to do it, but I told her I was going to do it. And she didn't believe me from the start. But I mean, honestly, serious was contemplating on how I was going to leave because I thought I brought so much embarrassment to such a strong family. I was just shared with you a family that's always been there for me, a family that's always loved me through every fraud case, through every bad check, through every domestic violence incident, through every embarrassment that I caused my family. They never told me that I embarrassed them. Never once. My family just always told me that you'll get through this. You'll overcome this. This is the season that you're going through now. So I don't know how many people can say that. I know there's probably some people, but when I tell you that it's a different breed for me, it's a different breed for me and my family and where I come from. And we come from that long line of family of faith and believing that, you're in adversity right now, but you'll overcome. I chose to share my story, to change the world, to change people, to change Black women that come from where I come from, to change women that's coming out of incarceration like me and don't have anywhere to go. To have that young woman to say no to the guy that may have a lot of money but don't know where the money come from. And then if we strike you one time, he's going to strike you again. Those type of things is, what I choose to implement. I don't go around, writing everything on my forehead. I think that in isolated incidents, when the time is made available like now, I share everything that I've been through. There's a time and place for everything, and every story is not meant for every occasion. So I share it as need be, but I've overcome a lot. And, I've gained a lot, but this is where I am today. But I never want people to understand or I don't want people to misunderstand that the trauma that we go through, the history and the obstacles that we jump over and the adversity that we're able to sustain is because God has always made us whole in the image of what he wants us to do and what our testimony and what our purpose is. And I truly believe that.
God, thank you so much for saying that, Tia, because I live by that every single day. And in my darkest moments, when I'm, in complete and utter just like sadness or just, I don't know what to do. I know that my higher power has placed me exactly where he needed me to be, and that me being able to share my story, and if it just inspires a little bit of hope for somebody else, like that gives me all the purpose in the world. So I appreciate you sharing that with us.
Absolutely. I was trying to.
Oh, go ahead, Ms.Tia.
I was trying to get my audience. My folks don't know that I'm on here. I was trying to get it. I need to maybe get Amanda's help. Amanda, can you come in for a second? This is I need people to know, y'all, what we're talking about, and it's good work that you're doing. Can you? This is my phone. Go to my Facebook and share it. It's not letting me share it. It's out. Did y'all make this private?
Nope.
I went.
No.
I couldn't.
No, this is live.
Yep, we're live on Facebook.
Yeah, I know we're live on Facebook, but I was trying to get some. I told some people that we're going to be doing it, and they're texting me, and they can't find it. I mean, I think Amanda's.
Okay.
Amanda's gonna make it happen.
Oh, she's the best. She makes everything happen.
Okay, she's doing it now. Okay. All right, you take.
I think me and Tia can agree, and I know Erin can as well as Izzy. I think, she just keeps that ship well oiled and keeps it moving. I don't think we could ask for a better boss lady.
For sure. We love Amanda Martin.
Something that Tia was saying really resonated with me. Like never losing your family. I never lost my family throughout all this time, and just like she said, I'm not innocent of anything that I've ever done. No, I've learned and I've built and I've upgraded myself to being who I was. But the one thing that I remember that I almost did lose my family once. My mother called me up. I think you remember, right, Karen? When Mom called me up, and it was the last time I got arrested, and all the bad stuff was going on in our life, and she called me up crying. My mom literally called me up crying, saying that she was done, being in so much pain because of what I do, because she didn't raise me that way. And then that's one of those really big turning points too.
Yeah, I think family support is, vital to, our wellness. I think when I was truly in the deepest pit of despair in my unwellness, I don't think I would have actually pushed through and, made something of myself and kept my recovery going if it wasn't for, that support. Family is a key factor.
Yeah, me too. And I tried to run and avoid my family with everything in me. A lot of that, I think, was me trying to protect them from the lifestyle and the things that I was doing. But I mean, I think one of the hardest moments for me was when I was in jail. And I mean, I had a bond. I could have gotten out. And my bond was not much, but I was calling my parents, and they were like, no. They were like, now we know you're safe. Now we know you're not on the streets. Now we know you're at least going to sober up for a little while. We're going to give you some time. We're going to let you sit there for a little bit. And they dang sure did. And I think back to that moment. I mean, I remember being in there and slamming my phone back on the wall and cussing and just being so pissed off. But and they, at the end of the day, I mean, they could have saved my life. I mean, the people that I was with, actually one of the persons that I had been hanging out with a lot during that time overdosed that same week I was in jail and died on the same drugs that I probably would have been using with him. And I just think that was just a moment that I had to just really be humble and just wait it out. But, when I did get out and I was ready to get my life together, my family was there. My parents, my mom and my dad and my brothers, and then the rest of my family as well. They were waiting for me. They were like, we're here to support you and to uplift you and give you a place to heal. And that saved my life. It really did. It saved my life. And that continued support allows me to share my story, live in my truth, right? When we feel like we have to hide from people like our family, it can be like it could sabotage us, right? But
yeah, I don't think we could be our, true authentic selves and help other people if we don't reflect our truths and reflect our mistakes. And, nowadays I kind of look at, everything I've accomplished, everything I've gone through as badges. I look at them as, certain badges of courage. It just depends on, what I went through.
For sure.
So I feel like we all just have that, that drive to want to, overcome all that, stigma.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm back in the show. Thank y'all so much for bearing with me. It's the technical things, but I think, Amanda's going to work behind the scenes to make sure we have everything that we need to be successful. But I heard Izzy and I heard Aaron say, running from your family. Yeah, I became something that I wasn't raised to be. And something inside of me, like, it's just triggered, like, the domestic violence and just trying to be somebody that I wasn't, trying to fit in. As strong as I am, the person that I am today, to be able to inspire so many people all over the world and to bring so much empowerment. It's that grace. It's that class that I was born into. And just to be able, to give back and just to speak over everything that I've overcome. But I can definitely relate to the embarrassment of, you brought all of this on your family and just trying to hide it. So then you will be telling lie after lie after lie. You're just honest. Nobody believes nothing that you say.
Yeah.
That's why when somebody tell me a lie, they try to get over on me. I'm like, really?
It's like, you're talking to the best liar in the world, honey. Come on. Like,
absolutely. I mean, and not only that, like, I went to prison for fraud. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
So, but what I wanted to say was, back to Izzy, like, I heard my mom. I came home one night. This is no lie. The FBI the FBI came looking for me after everybody told everything they could possibly tell on us. And they were knocking on the door, and my mom was crying. My mom always pulled me out of everything. She's like, well, you did it this time. I can't get you out of the trouble that you're in now. And just to hear my mom say that, just to hear her say that she thought that she couldn't get me out of the trouble that I got myself into, I knew then that I had really, really messed up. Mm-hmm. And as crazy as this may sound, it was just a moment of, okay, I'm going to get this over with. Like, I'm here now. I'm going to get through this incarceration. Yes, I'm pregnant. Yes, I'm going to federal prison. But when I come home, I'm thinking everything is going to be behind me. But, you know, when you come home from incarceration, it opens up a whole plethora of other things that come into play. You know, you don't know about all of the doors that are going to be closed in your face. You're not thinking about that. You know, you don't know to think these things. I don't know that now that I've earned myself the right to be, as the society label us and as the system label us as convicted felons, now I can't get a job. Now I can't go to school. Now I can't get some public assistance that I may need for the two beautiful young daughters that are waiting for me at home when I come home. You come home to nothing. And when I say that, I came home to a family, which is everything, but on a personal level, on a level of this journey that you have to walk and you have to figure out how you're going to get through it. You come home to nothing. You come home to a lot of self-hatred. You come home to feeling like you're zero on the scale. I mean, nothing, at the bottom of the barrier. And so when people say an addiction, yeah, I had an addiction. I had addiction to money. An addiction to money. And an addiction is an addiction. Mm-hmm. Anybody been through the 12-step program is, you know, the first thing about that is accepting the addiction that you have. And I think it was my state probation officer that made me realize I had an addiction to money. She was a really nice lady. You know, I know what people say about the probation system and, you know, the different things that they go through, but she really made me realize that your addiction is money. You never use drugs, you never drank. You've been around that stuff, but your addiction is money. And you have a bad addiction, which allows you or makes you do anything to get money. And that was so true.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow, yeah, that's really inspiring.
Yeah, when the father of my children came out of incarceration, he was there for just under 3 years. In the last 9, or maybe it was 18 months, he was in segregation. And yeah, he came back home to a lot of doors slammed in his face, and he struggled with that for years. You know, not being able to be offered housing, not being able to get a lot of jobs, and with that comes a lot of insecurity too. I mean, it's, you know, as a man trying.
Oh no. She'll come back.
It's happening to everybody.
I know.
She'll come back.
Those days.
We got a really good signal right now, and it's a really good show. I hate that this is happening.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine. Like I said, it wouldn't be my family if we didn't have technical issues all the time.
Right.
But Ms. Tia, how did, you know, all these difficulties, you coming home from being incarcerated, what things did you go through to basically dig yourself out of, I guess, this self resentment you had with yourself?
Well, I think, you know, I think the thing about anything is recognizing that it's temporarily, and just being able to get to that point that, you know, it's a temporary situation that you'll be able to overcome, and that those barriers that are put up before you won't always be there. Because I'm here today and I'm shining bright like the diamond that I am, you know. And I say that as humble as you guys know, y'all work around me. You know, we interact with each other a lot. I know that I'm a badass, but I'm humble. And I know that, you know, I restore people hope every day. Amanda always tell me, and I love it when she tell me this, she says, Tia, you are just one of a kind. You're so genuine, you're so authentic, and you care about people. And I do. So I can share this with you though. Although I care about people, I think that because I care about people so much, I know Erin is saying that she's off, trying to come back. Okay, we'll
wait for you, y'all.
We'll be waiting for you. The thing about anything that, you know, you're trying to come over is just that you're trying to overcome, is just trying to find that one piece or that one person that will hear you out, that will not judge you, that will be there to support you, and to uplift the plan that you have for yourself. I think everybody around me was trying to fix me, but I had to fix myself. And when I learned that I had to fix myself, they can talk till they blue in the face. You can say, this is wrong, you're doing this, you're doing that. But the one thing I know now when I'm out in the community and I'm restoring hope is welcome back, Erin. The one thing I say when I'm back in the community is, how can I help you in your path? Not what I want, is what the person wants. And so I think once we realize that that person has to be willing and ready to fix themselves, and we can offer all the support we want to, it truly has to come within. So coming, I had that support group, which was my family, especially my mom, especially my mother. When you look at all of the challenges that we face, all of the collateral consequences, all of the things that they say we cannot do, you have to look for that one yes, that one door that will open. I knew that there was a lot of people telling me no, that they didn't want me to work for them when I first came home. I was in my mid-20s. I know that there was going to be someone that was going to say yes. And I just took my work ethic and I made it authentic. I built up my integrity. I know that I was going to have to, get people to trust me again. I was working with credit cards. I was working with people's social security numbers. I was working with their checkbooks. And I knew that stuff did not belong to me, that I knew I had truly rehabilitated myself because I wanted to be a better person. And I know that looking at someone's social security number is theirs to leave it alone. Looking at someone's credit card number is theirs to leave it alone. Looking at someone's checkbook is theirs to leave it alone. Just anything that was validated to someone else's credentials didn't belong to me. I knew then that I was rehabilitated myself. It had nothing to do with the incarceration. Incarceration didn't rehabilitate me. I had women in there telling me how I could better do it. And when I come home, you can do it this way and you never get caught. Or you can do that. So I just want people to know that always sending people to prison isn't always the best thing, especially when you have someone like myself, nonviolent, considered to be a first time, lower on the scale as it relates to the history of offending and being in that process of that's why I say the whole justice system, it needs to be torn down and rebuilt. It's wrong, it's broken, they don't get it. They do not get it. But we're gonna have to be the people to continue to dismantle, to continue to disenfranchise, anything that we can do in the work that we're doing to restore for the people that need to be restored the most. And that's our people. Those are the people that we care about. That's the community health care. That's going into the side of the court support, the peer support. This whole community that PRN has created for us to be able to go out and just display our array of love and hope on the people that wouldn't even think nobody would want to love on them. I see somebody on the side of the street, I'm non-judgmental. I see somebody homeless, somebody that don't smell so good. It's why. It's not that they want to smell that way. They can't get a shower. So instead of talking about them, maybe I can lead them to a place where they can get a shower. They may have had one in 3 months. Let me just lead that person to that place. And I think that me coming from where I come from and having such a high influence in the city and in the county, where people see me do it, I can lead by example. Maybe they'll follow suit. If they don't, that's on them. I'm still going to be that ray of light, that ray of hope to restore and spread love everywhere I go. That's just who I am.
Yeah, it amazes me how so involved you are, in the community. One day you could be emptying off a truck, one day you could be advocating for someone who's not getting their, just desserts, or, the next day you could be taking mounds and mounds of food to all these people. I mean, it never stops with everything that, you're doing out in the community. It's truly an inspiration to watch you do this, especially seeing, and hearing your story about your background and everything you went through. It's truly an amazing thing. So, I know I've heard this a couple of times. Tell me a little bit about Beauty After the Bars. I've heard
absolutely.
This
I know, and when people hear my name, they say, wow, that name is amazing. So a lot of people think sometimes that, I'm overcoming, maybe some type of addiction, which I am. I never implemented that. But I can tell you, Beauty After the Bars, I formed that name. I said, you know what? I'm going through a dark, dark, dark time right now. I think I was sitting out on the picnic, and I think R. Kelly was one of my favorites. I know he might not be the most popular person to talk about, but I'm transparent. And he was one of my favorites at the time. And I was listening to just the Sony Walkman, just with the dial. And one of my friends, R. Kelly was on, and I was just crying. I think he was singing a song about his mom. I think it was Sadie. And I think he related that to his mom, and I was just crying outside. I said, you know what? I was looking at the mountains. I was in Alderson, West Virginia, and I always wrote. I wrote so much when I was a kid. I kept a journal, I wrote every day. And I began to start crying. I started thinking about all of the pain I had caused my mom, my grandmother, my aunts, everybody that loved me, my innocent daughters, they were at home. My mom was just raising my 16-year-old sister at the time, and then I had one child that I left behind, then I dumped another one on her because I was pregnant when I was incarcerated. And my mom took that daughter and raised her, while I was going through my federal incarceration. I came up with that name. I said, you know what, right now it's a dark, dark, dark time for me. But I have all this love and this support. I said, there's going to be some beauty, after these bars. And that's how the name came up. I'm in the process of getting a trademark right now. It's just such a unique name. And when I say beauty after bars, it referenced me into all of the trauma that I've been through, all of the dark days I've been able to overcome, all of the adversity. But I attested to just being able to restore hope in anybody that has a bar. And that bar can be anything. That bar could be, someone want to get their education. Woohoo, let's talk about that. How I'm going back to John C. Smith on Monday as a junior. I am so excited, yes. But just being able to go back and get what you thought you had lost. I'm 50. I'll go ahead and say it. Go ahead. I'm waiting for all y'all to tell me I don't look like.
Stop it. You're 21 forever. You're 21 forever. Stop it.
21 forever. As always.
Forever young. But the reality of it is, according to my birth certificate, I think it's wrong.
I think so too.
I think they got the wrong date on my birth certificate, to be honest. But yeah, I am 50 and I am going back to school. And so it's just a testimony of you can do anything you want to do. But when people say that I inspire them, let me just start with all of you on here when we went through peer support training together. I learned, or refresher for some of you, I learned so much about you, Karen and Aaron and your husband, Izzy, and how when you told your stories, we just all bonded. And then when Amanda kicked it off, or where she been and how she came from, she's such an inspiration. Amanda is going through law school right now. And that's, one of our leaders in this whole circle of this work that we're doing. And it's inspiring because it's the path that I want to take simply for this work, And I just say being 50 and going back to school and being a junior at the college that I was ripped out of and sent to prison, and now I'm able to go back and finish what I started, it's just a whole nother level for me. And it just means so much. So, not only do I inspire people, but people inspire me. And I just want to be a reflection of who I'm around. And I'm going to make sure that I'm around the right people because I can control that.
Yes.
I mean, that's such an inspiration. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but I know it's never too late to start anything. I know I read a story about an older lady in her 80s.
There were some people older than me, yes.
Yeah, and she always wanted to be a painter, and now some of her paintings are, the most gorgeous works of art you'll ever see. So it's never too late to go back to something you've always wanted to try. I've got a couple goals myself. We'll get there.
You'll get there. You'll get there. You guys are resilient. The one thing about your family is everything. It's from a family perspective. Yes. Your family was ripped apart by the system. You went in and grabbed them right back and put it back together again. Those are the broken pieces that you have control over. Amen. You determine your destiny, not no one else. You determine what you want to do. It's your life. It's nobody else's life. Maybe they didn't like the way you did it, but you did it. And you're showing that it can work. And that's what I like about it.
And it takes a group of, strong, stubborn people to want to, rip shreds to, this system, as they like to call it, regardless whether it's incarceration, legal, what have you. I mean, these are the voices of your peers that are trying to, break down these barriers.
Absolutely.
It's perfect.
Absolutely. I agree. And I think that, a lot of times people get stuck up on what didn't work, knowing that one person, when you give them an opportunity, everybody has their own specification. Everybody has their own blueprint. There's so many people in the world, right? But none of our fingerprints are the same. That's your blueprint to do whatever you want to do. We can have the same ideas. We can have the same goals. We can even take the same path and get different results. But that fingerprint makes you different. That's your blueprint to change the world, to put your mark outside on the sidewalk, to go down in the courthouse and implement change, to write policy and advocacy, to be that voice, not for the voices. They all have voices, but just to elevate the people who we love and care about the most. Don't say they don't have a voice. The only way they don't have a voice is they can't talk. The only way they don't have a voice is they can't talk. They have a voice. For us to echo their thoughts, to elevate their voice, or maybe speak for them in a moment where they can't speak because they're so torn and they're so broken. But let's not say they don't have a voice. We all have voices. In this moment, when we're standing in our truth and we're doing a community healthcare thing and we're out in the community and we're kicking ass and we're taking names, is because we're doing it for our sisters and brothers that need us the most. But the one thing that we have to remember, there was a time when somebody did it for us.
Yeah, absolutely.
There was a time when somebody did it for us.
Yeah,
and I really think that's one thing that truly keeps us humble and reminds us every day that, you know, we struggled like that at one point in our lives too.
Absolutely. And I think that's what it's all about, being able to give back to the community. You can't give back to a community if you don't understand where they're coming from. If you can't relate, I'm going to say this, those of us that are closer to whatever the issue of the concern or the problem that's occurring, we are so much closer to getting resolved or resolving it, putting a resolution on it, closing it, making it better, healing it, restoring hope. Whatever we want to do to add that ray of inspiration to somebody is what we should be doing. And I think all of us do it together. I think we do it in stride. I think it's the reason why we are so good at what we do. And it's because it's not work to us. It's like we are doing something that we truly want to do and make a difference while doing it.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's not work if it's something you love to do.
You got that right.
So, Ms. Tia, what are goals you have set for yourself in the future from everything you have endured? What kind of things would you like to advocate for in the future? I'm curious to know.
Okay, sure, absolutely. I like to advocate for housing for women coming home from incarceration. I like to have a lot of TIA houses all over the city of Charlotte, Mecklenburg County, all over the world. I like to see the visions of Beauty After Bars, the programs that I have for young women to stop the school to prison pipeline. I like to see them implemented. I like to leave a legacy behind of what I'm doing, the work that I'm doing. My most pressing goal right now is to get through school and to apply for law school. So right now, the goals that are hot and topic off the press is me being in school starting on Monday, finishing school, then applying and going to law school, and housing right now for women. So those are the two projects that I'm working on. It's a dual thing that I have going on right now. I think in my 50th birthday party, and it was phenomenal, you guys, surrounded by my family and friends.
I know, we were jealous. We saw all of the action on Facebook.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad that y'all really enjoyed it. My daughter was just speaking on, my mom don't get much sleep. My mom just do whatever she has to do to make things happen. And she's a go-getter. And just to hear my daughter say that, this is a daughter that was born in prison. Just to hear them say that, that they know that I'm going to make it happen for them. I'm going to make sure that they have everything that they need and, just set them up for success. And I think that, being set up for success is important. Whatever that looks like, it don't have to be a whole lot of money. Remember I said, we're not talking about money. We're talking about an addiction. I was addicted to money, and money made me do some things that were evil. While we need money to do the things that we need to do, I think that when you grab a hold to what your purpose is, you don't have to worry about the money. It'll be added. I think that if you continue to be authentic, I think that if you continue to be pure.
Oh, that's amazing. Amazing. So what advice would you give to someone, going through similar, difficulties in life, from, your lived experience? What could you say to them to kind of inspire them a little bit?
Well, all they need to do is just see me. They're going to be inspired. I just have their way of just coming in the room and saying, hey, it's like this today. I just want to make y'all smile. I knew if I said it, all y'all would smile because y'all love me as I love y'all. But I think on a serious note, when somebody is really, really in a dark place, you may have to go back to that dark place with them. That's all that they know. You may have to get, remember what I was saying about being able to connect with a person? A person don't want to hear from you if you haven't been what they've been through. It's sometimes hard to get through people, and you have to just extend that grace. That same grace that we wanted when we didn't want to be bothered, when we didn't want to talk about it, when we didn't think that another day of sunshine was going to come our way. I think that, just being able to show a person that you are there, just to listen, and then ask them if it's okay for you to speak. They may not even want you to speak. Sometimes you just have to listen. And if that's all that it requires, you listen, and they know that they've been able to get out all that they've been able to get out. For so long, people have told us what we've done wrong. When you go into the courts, when you're incarcerated, they tell us what to do every day, what time to wake up, what time to be at work, when we can wash our clothes, when we can eat. Same thing within the courts. Got to be in the court at this time. You can't talk, turn off your cell phone. So I think a lot of people got used to these systems that control us. So when you're dealing with somebody where you're really trying to restore hope, I think it's important for us to be able to restore hope, but at the same time to be able to listen to that person and gravitate to what it is that they're trying to tell us, or maybe what they're trying to show us, and then we can be better in supporting them.
I wish we had more time. Ms. Tia, you've got so much amazing energy and positivity that you've given to my family. Would any of my co-hosts like to add anything else before we wrap it up?
No way she's 50. No way she's 50, okay? I don't care what anybody says. I need to see a birth certificate. So. We're going to have to do some proof checking.
Izzy gets his trophy today.
I'm just saying.
There's no way. No way I'm 50.
Just saying. No way.
Yeah, I am, and I think that it adds on to my story and my value of hope. Never giving up. I'm dealing with still some financial responsibilities from 30 years ago. Isn't that crazy? When I first got in trouble, and it stopped me from going to school. But, I was upset and I was depressed for a few years because I thought that the government was going to defeat me from getting my education, because a part of my history is fraud. It's student loan frauds. It's related to the United States Department of Education. And so they put a block on me going to school. But guess what? No, I'm moving forward and I'm pressing on. And so I think that, we can talk about that on another topic, but, I've enjoyed being able to share with you. I know we were interrupted like the first 10 minutes, but you'll get me back on here. We'll speak again. We'll
it's okay. After a few more episodes, I'm sure we'll be able to compile a My Family blooper reel of all our little trials and tribulations going through this thing.
Absolutely.
But thank you so much, Ms. Tia, for coming on today. We're definitely going to have you back because you have so many more things to say. I know we can't fill it all into an hour, but thank you so much for showing your resiliency and sharing your story with us. And with that being said, as our famous boss would say, let's put this plane in this hangar. You guys can reach us at PRN on the welcome desk. Miss Kim will always answer it for you, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. That number is 704-390-7709. And which one of my lovely co-hosts would like to lead us out with the warm line?
We have a warm line, which is 24/7 confidential non-crisis peer support. And you can reach us at 833-390-7728. And there's always a warm body on the other end of the line to listen, talk, chat, check in, or just sit with you if you don't want to talk at all. So give us a call. And
yeah, that's not fair. I was the only one to stutter. That's why I was like, do it. But it didn't come.
Well, I thank y'all so much. It's been phenomenal.
Yeah,
y'all, and
I'm so excited to be a part of y'all
team and to work alongside y'all. Thank y'all for having me on. It was an absolute pleasure. And I like to leave everybody with this, with me, what you see is what you get. My team members can tell you that. I'm the same every day. I just decided hitting 50, and I know I joke a lot and say that I don't look like it, but it's something different inside of me. At the age 50 to have lived a half of 100 years, a half of a century, and to be able to just, I don't know, I feel different, I live different, and I am different. And I just want, to let people know that I want to spread positivity and be able to change people in a way that's empowering and let people know that they can do whatever they want to do. That's how I choose to live the rest of my life, if someone around me wants to do something different, then they're going to have to go around me. Right? This is who I am.
Yes. And we love you for who you are, and we appreciate you for being authentic and living in your truth, because you do inspire. I know you have inspired me on many different occasions. And I hope that you continue to do this work, because this is you, and I love you for that. So thank you.
Yes. Her own little shining light. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Sending lots of love to you guys, and I'm so excited to see you guys next weekend. You guys have a great weekend. We'll see you soon.
See you later.